Have you noticed that every time a new Lentor project launches, the same question comes up again and again? Is Lentor oversupply? Well, I think this is a very fair question. Because over the past few years, Lentor has seen launch after launch. Lentor Modern, Lentor Hill Residences, Lentor Rear, Hillock Green, Lentor Mansion, Lentor Central Residences, and now Lentor Garden Residences. So naturally, many buyers will ask, wow, so many projects in one area. Next time, will there be too much competition? When I want to sell in the future, will there be enough buyers? Is Lentor still an opportunity or the opportunity has already passed? But here's the thing, when we talk about oversupply, we cannot just look at numbers of unit alone. Because supply by itself is not the problem. The problem is, can the area create enough demand to absorb this supply? And more importantly, when you exit, will Lentor be a much more complete and attractive estate compared to what it is today? That's why in this video, I'm going to break it down from a buyer perspective. We will be covering transformation plans surrounding Lentor, the land cost and what it means for pricing, whether the launch price is justified, and what your future exit plan could look like. And to wrap things up, as usual, I'll give you my final verdict of the reason why I will buy Lentor Garden Residences and the reason why I will stay away. Before we go into that, let's do a quick project overview of Lentor Garden Residences. Lentor Garden Residences is a 99-year leasehold development located at Lentor Garden within the Ang-Mo-Kio planning area. Sitting on a sizable land parcel, approximately about 20,000 square meters, and is one of the largest developments in Lentor precinct. The project is developed by Kingsforce and is expected to attain TOP around end of 2030, which is about 3.5 years from now. The development comprises of total 499 residential units spread across 3 blocks of 16-story residential tower, 1 block of 8-story residential flat, and 3 exclusive 2-story strata terrace houses. In addition, there will be an early childhood development, childcare, retail commercial unit on level 1, and a basement car park with about 402 parking lots and 82 bicycle lots. In terms of facility, residents can enjoy a comprehensive range of amenities including a tennis court, a gym, a clubhouse, 3 function rooms, 2 barbecue pavilions, and various recreational spaces. One feature that really stands out to me is the signature swimming pool. It's designed with a long resort-style water feature that resembles a river-like pool concept seen at Momentum Park, giving the development a unique resort living feel. Combined with the extensive landscaping with communal facilities, it creates a very relaxing environment for the residents. Now let's talk about the location. In my opinion, this is one of the key reasons why buyers are paying attention to Lentor today. If we go back to a few years ago, Lentor wasn't exactly a location that many buyers were excited about. The common feedback was simple: it's quiet, it's far away from town, and there's not much happening in that area. And to be fair, the perception wasn't entirely wrong. Back then, getting around wasn't as convenient, and the estate lacked of many amenities and connectivity that buyers look for today. But that's exactly why the transformation story becomes so important, because what buyers are looking for today is very different from what Lentor was in the past. The biggest game changer is undoubtedly the Thomson East Coast Line. For the first time, Lentor is directly connected to Singapore MRT network, making it significantly easier to travel around the island. From Lentor MRT, you're just 2 stops away from Bright Hill, where you'll be able to connect to the future Cross Island Line, a few more stops that bring you to the Circle Line Caldecott MRT, then Downtown Line at Stevens. And within about 20 to 25 minutes, you are already in Orchard, the city area. At the same time, heading to the north connects you to ongoing Woodlands transformation, including Woodlands Regional Centre, Woodlands Gateway, and upcoming Integrated Health Campus, and eventually the RTS link connecting Singapore and Johor Bahru. So from a location that many people once considered inconvenient, Lentor is gradually become a much more connected and convenient estate. And that's why many buyers today is not focusing on what Lentor is now. They are focusing on what Lentor could become in the next 5 to 10 years. The strong sales response in Lentor launches is combination of the MRT connectivity, future transformation, relatively low entry PSF compared to more central areas, and the chance of entering before the estate fully mature. So when buyers look into Lentor today, they are not just asking whether is it Ulu now, they are asking whether this could become the next estate benefit from infrastructure, population growth, and changing perception over the next few years. On top of that, the project is also well connected to major routes and expressway, including the upcoming North-South Corridor, which is expected to improve connectivity and cut short the journey to central part of Singapore. With Lentor Modern more nearby, residents will have access to daily conveniences such as supermarket, F&B, clinic, childcare, and other retail options. So as more projects in Lentor complete, the estate will gradually become more self-sustaining and lively. Next, one of the biggest talking points about Lentor Garden Residences is the land price. Among the Lentor plot, the site is known as one of the lowest land costs. And in today's market, land cost matters a lot. Because its developer entered the lower land price, there may be more room for pricing flexibility compared to future launches where the price are higher. So Lentor Garden Residences will be an opportunity because of its lower land costs, especially when we compare it to the later Lentor land parcel where land prices have already moved higher, 300 PSF per plot ratio different. If the next project need to launch at a higher benchmark of $300 PSF, then buyer entering now potentially have a better safety margin. But of course, low land price doesn't mean that confirm make money. We need to compare it against Lentor nearby resale project and other OCR project. Now let's talk about the pricing analysis for Lentor Garden Residences. Because end of the day, no matter how good the transformation story is, property investment still come back to one very important point. Are you entering at a price that gives you support and future exit potential? For Lentor Garden Residences, one of the biggest talking point is the land price. The site is awarded at around 920 PSF per plot ratio, which is one of the lowest land costs among the Lentor plot. This is important because low land costs form a foundation of the developer pricing. When the land cost is lower, the developer may have more flexibility to price the project more attractively. And this becomes even more interesting when you compare it against the later Lentor land bids. The latest Lentor Central site was awarded around 1,278 PSF per plot ratio, which is significantly higher than Lentor Garden Residences land cost. So if future developers are buying land at a much higher price, naturally the future selling price will likely need to be higher as well in order to maintain their margin. This gives Lentor Garden Residences a very interesting angle. It is not just about whether the PSF is cheap or expensive in absolute terms. It is about whether the project is entering at the market with a lower land cost base. While future supply may be launched from a higher land cost base, the gap can potentially become a form of pricing support. Next, we look at the resale support in the area. Lentor Modern is one of the strongest examples we can refer to because it is the first major integrated project in the Lentor area transformation. Today, Lentor Modern resale and subsale prices has already transacted from $2,300 to $2,500 plus PSF range, with some listing transacted data showing even higher PSF level. Personally, I feel this is a form of very strong support pillar from Lentor Garden Residences. Why? Because if the first major Lentor project is already seeing resale support at this level, then Lentor Garden Residences is no longer entering a completely untested market. There is a benchmark already forming in the area. Of course, Lentor Modern is an integrated development, so it should command a premium, but it still helps buyers to understand where Lentor market is heading. Then now we look slightly outside Lentor. At the wider Ang-Mo-Kio area, a very good comparison is Amore Residences. Transaction data already show that Amore Residences transacting in the last 12 months between about 2,359 PSF to 2,647 PSF with an average price of 2,521 PSF. This is important because it tells us that something about buyer acceptance in the border of Ang-Mo-Kio region. The resale market is already showing us that the buyer are willing to accept $2,500 PSF and above for the right project, right location and the right product. So when we analyze Lentor Garden Residences, we need to compare it against today's market. Lentor Modern has already created a strong Lentor benchmark. Amore Residences has already shown strong Ang-Mo-Kio resale acceptance. Future Lentor land bids are coming in higher costs, and OCR new launches prices across Singapore has already shifted up. So if Lentor Garden Residences is priced with enough gap from Lentor Modern resale, enough gap from Amore Residences resale, and enough gap from future higher land cost project, then the pricing become much more supportable. But I want to be clear, this doesn't mean that every unit is good to buy. Price support must still be analyzed by unit type, layout, stacks, facing, floor level, and quantum. For example, a well-priced 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom with an efficient layout may have a stronger exit demand than a unit where the quantum is too stretched. A unit with a better facing, park view, pool view, or quieter orientation may also be easier to resell in the future compared to a less desirable stacks. So my view is this: Lentor Garden Residences pricing story is supported by 3 main pillars. Number 1, lower land cost compared to a later Lentor plot. Number 2, Lentor Modern resale benchmark has already hit 2003 to 2005 PSF plus range. Number 3, Amore Residences resale benchmark in the Ang-Mo-Kio area has already reached 2005 to 2006 PSF. If you put all this together, Lentor Garden Residences is not just standing alone, it has surrounding price evidence to support the story. The real opportunity depends on whether the developer launch at the price that gives the buyer the sensible entry point and a clear profit gap for future exit. Because in property, we don't just want to buy a project that look good today. We want to buy in the price where the next buyer still can justify paying more in the future. Now when we talk about Lentor future exit plan, one very important buyer pool we must look at is the HDB upgrader. Because for a project to perform well in the future, we cannot just depend on the new launch buyer today. It must have a strong resale audience when the project reaches its TOP and when owner want to exit. So for Lentor Garden Residences, I feel the future upgrader demand can come from 2 main groups. The first group is from the nearby Ang-Mo-Kio and the Yio Chu Kang area. This area is a matured HDB estate, and over the next few years, we are seeing more new HDB BTO supply being introduced in the area Ang-Mo-Kio that give us around 3,200 plus newer HDB BTO in the wider Ang Mo Kio Yio Chu Kang area alone. And when they want to upgrade, many of them may not want to move too far away. They may still want to stay near their parents, their children, school, their workplace, or simply the neighborhood they are already familiar with. This is where Lentor become relevant. To these Ang Mo Kio and Yio Chu Kang HDB owners, Lentor is not a downgrade location. It is a natural private property upgrade within the same board area. The second group that I can think is very interesting is actually the Punggol buyer. A lot of buyers entering Lentor are not only from Ang Mo Kio. Many of them are coming from Punggol and the northeast region, like Woodlands, Sembawang, and Yishun. Because to them, Lentor feels like an upgrade location. Punggol has done very well over the past year, but many Punggol's owners who have made good gains from their EC and HDB may eventually want to move closer towards town, while still staying within a family-friendly, greenery and rich environment. Lentor gives them a middle ground. It's not as central or expensive as places like Bishan, Upper Thomson or Novena, but it's also more city-facing compared to Punggol. And this future Punggol upgraders pool is not small. In 2026 alone, Punggol is projected to have a larger supply in newly MOP flats, with around 3,222 flats across 5 BTOs project reaching MOP. Across Singapore, around 13,400 to 13,500 flats are expected to reach MOP in 2026, which means that there will be a large pool of potential HDB seller and upgrader entering into the market. We haven't even included the potential upgrader pool from Woodlands, Sembawang, Yishun, Ang Mo Kio, and Yio Chu Kang. So when we talk about Lentor future demand, I don't think we should only look at the immediate surrounding area. We need to look at the upgraders movement pattern. We are looking at one of the best upgrade locations in the north central region, well connected and still relatively affordable despite being close to town. The biggest advantage is that we are still entering while the transformation story is still going on, potentially for future growth. Ang Mo Kio and Yio Chu Kang owner may see Lentor as a nearby private upgrade. Punggol owner may see Lentor as a location upgrade. Northeast region buyer may see Lentor as a more connected estate because of the Thomson East Coast line. And once Lentor estate become more mature with more shops and more residents, Lentor MRT, Lentor modern retail, greenery and future infrastructure, the resale story become easier to understand. Lentor is not depending on only one demand pool. It has support from nearby mature estate upgraders, northeast upgraders, family who want MRT connectivity, and buyer who want a quieter private residential enclave. Lentor is still closer to town compared to newer town like Punggol. That's why when people say Lentor has many units, confirm oversupply, I think that statement is too surface level. Yes, there's supply, but there's also a future upgrader base forming around it. And for Lentor Garden Residences, the exit plan become clearer when we understand who is the next buyer going to be. So it's not just about how many units are launching in Lentor. It's whether future buyer will see Lentor as a better, more mature and more connected exit when it's their turn to enter into a resale market. Before we talk about why Lentor Garden Residences may be an opportunity, I think it is only fair to look at other side because no project is perfect. So here's the 3 reasons why I will not buy Lentor Garden Residences. The first concern is definitely supply. Over the past few years, Lentor has seen many new launches entering the market one after others, such as Lentor Modern, Lentor Hill Residences, Hillop Green, Lentora, Lentor Mansion, Lentor Central Residences, and now Lentor Garden Residences. So if you are buying with a very short holding period and you are worried about resale competition in the future, this is something that you must take seriously. When multiple projects reach TOP around similar timing, future buyer will have many choices within the same Lentor estate. So unit selection become a very important point. If you buy a weaker stack, weaker facing, or inefficient layout, it may be harder to stand out in the future when you want to exit. Number 2, Lentor is still not fully matured today. Yes, there's Lentor MRT, and yes, there are more amenity coming in, but compared to places like Bishan, Ang Mo Kio, Upper Thomson, or Toa Payoh, Lentor is still quieter and less developed. So if you are someone who wants everything to be already established lots of food auction, malls, school, lifestyle choices, and strong current privacy, then Lentor may be not as exciting today. Buying into Lentor is more of a transformation play. You are buying what the area can become, not just what the area is right now. So if you don't have the holding power, or if you're not comfortable with waiting the estate to be mature, this project may not be right for you. So number 3, the third reason is very important. A lot of people say that Lentor Garden Residences having one of the lower land costs among the Lentor plots. But lower land cost does not necessarily mean that every unit is cheap or every unit will make money. The actual land price still matter, the unit type matter, the facing, layout, floor level, the quantum all matter. If developer prices certain unit too aggressively, then the lower land cost advantage may not fully benefit the buyer. So I will not buy Lentor Garden Residences blindly just because of a lower land price story. For me, this project only makes sense if the specific unit give enough pricing support, future resale appeal, and a clear exit audience. So to summarize the 3 reasons why I will not buy Lentor Garden Residences again. Number 1, 1, there is a lot of supply. Number 2, the area is still not mature enough today. Number 3, low land price doesn't mean that every unit is a good buy. But does this mean Lentor Garden Residences is a bad project? Not necessary. It simply means that this is not a project to buy blindly. If the price is right and the unit selection is strong and you have a clear holding and exit plan, then it can still be very interesting opportunity within the Lentor transformation story. After talking about concern, now let's look at another side. Here's the 3 reasons why I will consider to buy Lentor Garden Residences. Number 1, Lentor is not longer the Ulu Lentor we used to know. First, the transformation in the past. Many people saw Lentor as a quiet and Ulu location. But today, the biggest game changer is the Thomson East Coast Line and the Lentor MRT. From Lentor, you are connected north towards Woodlands, where there is Woodlands Transformation, Woodlands Regional Centre, and the new integrated health campus and the RTS line to Johor. Towards the south, you are connected to the key interchange station like Bright Hill Counter Court, Stevens, Orchard, and Marina Bay. So Lentor is not just longer a quiet residential area, it's slowly becoming a more connected private residential enclave, and buyers are entering before the whole transformation is fully completed. Number 2, lower land costs give stronger price support. The second reason is the land price. Lentor Garden Residences has one of the lower land costs among the Lentor plot. This is important because land cost is the base of every new launch pricing. When future Lentor land bids are already coming in higher, future projects may need to launch at a higher price to maintain a developer margin. So if Lentor Garden Residences can launch at a more reasonable entry price because of the lower land costs, then buyer may enjoy a stronger pricing support. On top of that, Lentor Modern Resale has already transacted at around $203 to $205 PSF, and Amore Residences in Ang Mo Kio has already transacted at around $205 to $206 PSF. To me, these are important support pillars. It shows that the market has already accepted this higher PSF in Lentor and Ang Mo Kio area region. The third reason is that the future buyer demand. A lot of people worry about the future supply in Lentor, but we also need to look around the demand where Lentor Garden Residences reach its TOP, where your future buyer may not only come from Lentor itself, they may come from Ang Mo Kio, Yio Chu Kang, Yishun, Sembawang, Woodlands, and even Punggol. So for example, Punggol buyer may see Lentor as upgrade in location because it's closer to town, connected by MRT, and still offer a quieter, family-friendly environment. Woodlands, Yishun, Sembawang upgraders may see Lentor as a natural step-up location within the North Corridor, but closer towards the city. So Lentor's demand pool is wider than just the immediate area. And with the project itself being 499 unit development with a commercial space, childcare, basement car park, and a communal facility, it has the basic ingredient to appeal to the future families and the future upgraders' demands. So again, these are the 3 reasons why I will consider to buy Lentor Garden Residences. Number 1, Lentor is transforming and becoming more connected. Number 2, the lower land cost may give stronger pricing support. And number 3, the future exit demand can come from wider upgrader pool across the north and northeast region. But of course, this doesn't mean that every unit is good to buy. For me, project only makes sense if the entry price, layout, facing, quantum, and the exit strategy are all aligned. Because in today's market, it's not just about buying into the right area, it's about choosing the right unit at the right price. So my final verdict is, Lentor Garden Residences, it is not sure buy, but it is definitely worth studying seriously. The biggest concern is supply. Yes, Lentor has many new launches, but I don't see this as a random oversupply. I see it as a planned transformation to create a new private residential enclave around Lentor MRT. What makes Lentor Garden Residences interesting is the combination of the lower land costs, stronger price support from Lentor Modern Resale, Amore Residences Resale benchmark, future higher land bids, and a sizable upgrader pool from Ang Mo Kio, Yio Chu Kang, Yishun, Woodlands, Sembawang, and Punggol. So the opportunity is not about just buying Lentor. The opportunity at the right price before the area becomes fully mature. If the entry price gives enough safety margin and the unit selection is right, I feel that Lentor Garden Residences can be one of the more interesting projects within the Lentor transformation story. Hi, I'm Brandon from Bear & Joe Home. If you're considering this project, I want to know the best tag, the best entry point, and whether this generating makes sense for your situation. Just send us a message and we will break it down for you. And if you enjoy this kind of no fluff property analysis, please remember to like, share, and subscribe our channel.